Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is William Hollis, and I am an associate librarian here at Mandel Public Library. And I will be showing you how to utilize Google Docs to create a resume. They have a lot of wonderful templates, and I would like to show you how to utilize them. So, we're going to assume that you already have your Gmail account open. So once you are logged into your Gmail account, you should see your mailbox. I'm looking at my personal inbox, and you're going to go to the top right-hand corner where these series of dots are. I hover over it, it says Google Apps. We are going to click on that, and we are going to scroll down to Docs. This is Google Docs. So we click on Google Docs, and you will see a gallery of templates. It says start a new document. We have a couple of resume templates, but we're going to click on template gallery, and we'll see some more of these show up. So right now we are going to utilize, we'll use this one, the modern writer. So we click on that template. You can choose any number of templates, but utilizing Google Docs, we click on that template, and you will see a pre-filled form where all we have to do is substitute the existing information with our own information. So with no further ado, let's begin. For the address, you really don't need your street address, so we can take that out actually. All an employer really needs to get in touch with you is a phone number or an email address. So just for the sake of showing you how we go through this, we will change out where it says your city. I'm going to assume that you're in Palm Beach County, most likely West Palm Beach, if you come to the Mandel Public Library of West Palm Beach. So West Palm Beach, Florida, I'll utilize the library's area code 33401. And then we'll put in the library's phone number, but you would put in your own phone number, obviously. So I'll put in my office number, 87707, and I'm going to put in my work email address just to show you what it looks like when we fill in this template to make it our own. So it's going to be whollis@wpbcitylibrary.org. Again, this will be your information, not the library's, obviously. I'm going to put in your name, so I will put in my own name, that being William Hollis. Now, you can format this any number of ways. For what I happen to prefer is to list a summary instead of skills. So a summary basically tells everyone who you are and what you do and how long you've been doing it. So for myself, I'll put in my own personal summary. You would give a summary to fit your background and as far as what you are applying for. So for myself, it would be associate librarian with over 5 years of experience in both K-12 and adult education. So again, that's what I like to call a power statement, where you say who you are or what it is that you do, how long you've been doing it. You're basically presenting to the employer what you have to offer versus an objective where you say, seeking employment in whatever area. You're telling the employer right off the bat what you can do for them. So that's why I like to utilize the summary instead of the typical skills or objective. But anyway, I'm not going to fill out this entire resume. I'm just going to fill out some sections of it to give you an example. So experience, obviously, it's self-explanatory. It's where have you worked previously? What have you done? What skill set are you bringing to the table, or what experiences have you had? So I'm going to put Mandel Public Library. Now, what's important about this section is the location's going to be city and state. It doesn't have to be a street address. City and state works fine. And then your job title, I'm going to put down my own for the purpose of this exercise, associate librarian, if I can type it correctly. And then it's going to be the month and year. They don't need an exact date, but a month and year would suffice. If you don't remember exactly, just estimate the best that you can. And if all else fails, if it was some time ago, I always say just choose January of that year if you're not able to contact your previous employer to confirm that or to verify. So at the library, I began in January 2017 to the present. Now, if this was a previous position or if I were not currently employed, I would have to put the start and the end date. But obviously, if you're still there, there is no end date, so you leave it as present. Now, you're going to put in 3 to 5 bullet points. 3 is pretty good, just to list the main functions of your current or most recent position. So for myself, it would be to provide tutoring and mentoring, or actually, I would say to provide adult education and employment services to tutoring and mentoring. This is just me specifically, but obviously you're going to do this for you. But I just want to give you an example of what it looks like when you're creating this resume utilizing this template. So provide adult education and employment services. I would then have to think about what are the main functions of what I do. So I would say develop curriculum for classes and to teach them also. But anyway, again, just providing an example, and then to, let's see, provide customer service. So as needed. So that's just an example. Again, I would go back in time. I would go back 5 to 10 years and also be sure to include employment that's relevant to the position that you're going for. So as an example, if I were applying for a, I don't know, for a retail position, I wouldn't list something that's completely unrelated to retail unless that was the only employment I had. Ideally, you're going to want to present the employment that's most relevant to what you're going for, but I digress. Moving down to education, you would list your highest level of employment, highest level of education completed. So for myself, it would be college, whether it's high school diploma, you would list your school. For myself, it would be Broward College. For location, city and state works just fine. So that would be Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If it's a high school, just the city and state is fine. If it's a diploma, you would put high school diploma. If it's a college degree, you would just list your degree. So mine's Bachelor of Applied Science, or you would put bachelor's, or whatever the case may be. And I would list what the degree is in. Again, if you have a high school diploma, you would just list high school diploma, which is fine. They ask for the month and the year. I would say that year to year is fine. So I happen to remember the month and year, but for the purpose of our exercise, we would just say the year you started and the year you finished is good enough. That gives the employer a general idea of how recently you completed this. So this lists another section to add details. You really don't have to do that. I'm just going to say I graduated or what have you. Now this section, awards, also that's optional but not necessary. If you have any awards like Staff Member of the Month, you can utilize that. But if not, I would replace awards with references. Those are going to be people who speak on your behalf. Ideally, it would be a former supervisor. So for myself, I will go ahead and put in, John Smith. You can put who they are to you, former supervisor. Ideally, you would do that, former supervisor or at least coworker. that being people who know you in a professional capacity. So this wouldn't be family and friends, ideally. So former supervisor, and then I'm also going to provide a phone number. And if a phone number is not the best point of contact, then obviously an email address would be good also. If you have both, that's even better, because the sooner that the employer can get in touch with your reference, the sooner they can verify your background and hopefully make you an offer. So that's where that's beneficial. So jsmith at supervisor.org. I'm just making up an email address. But ideally, the best contact information or the most recent contact information for your references is good for you, because that enables the employer to verify it faster. So that is how you complete a resume. And also, we want to make sure we save it. So we're going to go over here to File, and we can actually download it as a Microsoft Word document, or however we want to do it. I would say Microsoft Word so you can make changes later. So we say download Microsoft Word, and then you see it in this lower left-hand corner. And then we'll click on that, and it'll open up as a Word document. And we can also continue to make changes here in Google Docs, but I just want to make sure that we show how to do that. So we have the resume, you click enable editing, and then you're able to make changes in the Word document if you need to send it. And then you can, share it elsewhere also if you wanted to share it straight through Google Docs. If you wanted to add, other people's address. I think it's a little bit simpler to just convert it to a Word document and send it as is, but that's certainly up to you. So that is how you complete a resume, or how you utilize a template to create a resume through Google Docs. And I hope that this has been helpful. You can always go back and watch this again as many times as need be. And we'll be providing more quick tips for you to hopefully be successful in landing a position. Thank you so much for watching, and I urge you to be safe and take care.